Hello again guys, and welcome back to a brand new video with me, Tom, from The Honest Meeple. Today we are going to be unboxing a brand new release from Z-Man Games. It is a rejuvenated version of Pandemic. It's smaller, it's tinier, it plays quicker. It is Pandemic Hot Zone North America. Let's see what's inside the box. So this is Pandemic Hot Zone North America. This is a kind of rebrand, a kind of rejig of the original game Pandemic. It is a far smaller box, a far quicker game, and kind of, I don't want to say it's like a travel variant, but this is certainly something that you would want to take on holiday with you, etc., because it plays far quicker. If you look on the back, you can see here, you have to treat the disease, share research, and discover the cure to save humanity. Now you can see on there, if I show you, you've got all the relevant cards and tokens. You'll see a lot of similarities between this game, and that is essentially kind of, it is Pandemic. It's just a smaller box. So let's take the wrapping off. As mentioned, this is from Z-Man Games. It's designed by the original designer of Pandemic, Matt Leacock. Now I am super duper excited for this. I really liked Rapid Response, however this is a bit more up my street. Oh, if I can get it off, there we go. There we are. So you have the rulebook, notably smaller than the original. There's quite a few differences, so I'll go through the list. So the differences from Pandemic, so if you played Pandemic, the original Pandemic, this is how Hot Zone differs. So there's only 3 diseases to fight against instead of 4. During setup, the number of cards that are drawn for your starting hand is slightly different. To discover a cure, players will only need 4 cards instead of 5, so think of yourselves all as scientists essentially, because you can use 1 less card, but anyone can do that. There's only 1 research station in Atlanta. You cannot build any others, that's not an action. There are only 3 epidemic cards in the player deck, and you use all of them in every game. There's no levels or difficulty levels. Diseases cannot be eradicated, unlike the original game. The researcher and dispatcher effects are slightly altered. We'll have a look at those in a second. And the crisis cards can be added to increase the difficulty of the game. So instead of adding extra epidemic cards, it's the crisis cards that are going to change the difficulty. So as you can see, you have the kind of the contents on the front page. You have the setup, the key concepts, how the player turn goes, some examples of play, and then finishing off your turn, event cards, losing or winning, crisis cards, and fine points. Fairly simple rulebook for a very simple game, especially if you have played Pandemic before. As I say, this is nothing kind of massively new. I mean, if you're thinking kind of always is going to bring like really new stuff like Rapid Response did, no, that's not what this is. This is different. This is more of a kind of streamlined version of Pandemic. So as you can see on here, much smaller board. So much so I can get it in frame. Da-da! This is specifically North America, as you could tell by the title. You've got the 3 different coloured diseases, red, yellow and blue. Give them whatever names you want. And yet that is the map. You've got the outbreak track, the disease track, and the cards here. Quick player turn reference there. And if we open the bag up, we can see what cards. So the cards again are noticeably smaller, because it is a smaller game, as I keep saying. So if we have a look, this is the Medic. You get 4 options, I think, in this. The Generalist, the Researcher, and the Dispatcher. So you get 4 different kind of characters to choose from. I'll put them there. You then get 4 reference cards, 1 for each player. Just tells you the actions that are available, as well as on the back there. So you get 4 of those to go with that. You then have the city cards, and you'll notice these. So you've got Indianapolis, you've got Chicago, Toronto. You can see there, it's recognisable artwork from the games, and you've got them in all the different colours there. So they're the city cards. These are, actually I should say they're the disease cards, so they're what you'll be drawing as you draw from this pile here. You'll notice, sorry, I should have mentioned, they are called infection cards, sorry, not disease cards. But they're the ones that are obviously going to dictate where you place the disease cubes. You then have the city cards. These are the ones that you'll draw as a player and keep in your hand. As you can see there, you've got all of the different colours. I've spread them out there. And then you also have crisis cards. So these are the ones that you're going to add in for difficulty. So hotspot, play immediately then discard. You draw the bottom card from the infection deck and place 3 matching cubes on that city. So basically it's on the verge of outbreak. If it's going to focus. There we go. So that's hotspot. That's one of the crisis cards. Logistics failure. Resolve the draw infection card step twice this turn. If the event One Quiet Night is played, resolve the step once instead. So basically they're going to make your life that little bit more difficult. There are, I believe, 7. Yeah, so there's 7 different crisis cards there, just to make your life a little bit harder. And finally we have the epidemic and the event cards. So epidemic, you're looking at a very, very similar theme to the original. You get 3 of those and they're used in every single game. You then have the event cards here. So you've got borrowed time, so the player can do 2 additional actions. Airlift, you can move 1 pawn to any city. Remote treatment, you can return any 2 cubes on the board to the supply. And One Quiet Night, that allows you to skip the draw infection card step. And that is all the cards in the game. That leads us on to the cubes and to the player pawns and tokens. Start with the player pawns. So you've got 1 for each colour. You've got grey, pink, orange and brown. You have the disease vials. Notice that there's no printing on them like in Pandemic, because you can't eradicate the virus, you just kind of try and cure it. And then it's going to go, if it's going to focus yet, you've got the outbreak and the disease infection rate markers there as well. So that one will go there, and that one will go there. And they go down onto the board at the bottom. Remembering obviously that you need only 4 to cure the virus. And then finally we have the bag with the coloured disease cubes. Slightly different colour yellow than the original, but the blue and the red seem the same. And that is, well, I'll write it out on there since I've got everything on the board. It's nice to be able to get a game all in frame. So that is everything in Pandemic Hot Zone North America. A very compact, very neatly presented game. One that has, again, as I say, been streamlined for quick play. I mean, if we look at the, so yeah, it plays in 30 minutes, suitable for 2 to 4 players. And as mentioned, you've got the list on the back, which I'll just hold up there. If you want to pause the video and give it a read again, that tells you the differences between this and the original, but don't panic, if you played the original, this will be very familiar. So thank you very much for watching me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, pop them down in the comments below. Give this video a like, and if you feel like it and want to keep up with my content, do please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Join me again for another unboxing or review. I've got plenty coming, so do keep your eyes peeled. And that leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, and as always, guys, I'll see you all next time.